Have you ever been drifting peacefully to sleep, only to be nudged awake because someone beside you sounds like a small chainsaw? Or maybe you've been the one accused of rattling the windows at night, completely unaware of the symphony you were conducting. Snoring is one of those ordinary human experiences that feels almost comical, until it starts affecting your rest, your health, or your relationships. It's so common that we joke about it in movies and family gatherings, yet very few of us actually understand what's happening inside the body when that rumbling sound begins. Today, we will explore why we snore when we sleep, right here on History of Simple Things. Have you ever wondered how long humans have been snoring? The answer goes back thousands of years. Ancient Greek physician Hippocrates wrote about breathing and airway issues during sleep as early as the 5th century BCE. In Roman times, writers even joked about loud sleepers. By the 19th century, doctors began describing noisy breathing during sleep in medical texts, although they didn't yet fully understand its causes. It wasn't until the mid-20th century that researchers connected heavy snoring with a serious condition called obstructive sleep apnea. What was once considered just an annoying nighttime habit slowly became recognized as something that could signal deeper health concerns. So, what exactly is snoring? At its core, snoring is a sound produced by vibrating tissues in your upper airway. When you're awake, the muscles in your throat help keep your airway open. Air flows smoothly in and out of your lungs with minimal resistance, but when you fall asleep, those muscles relax. The tongue, soft palate, and the walls of the throat loosen. If the airway becomes partially narrowed, the air you breathe in has to squeeze through a tighter space. That airflow causes the soft tissues to vibrate, and vibration is sound. The narrower the airway and the stronger the airflow, the louder the snore. Think of it like wind passing through a loose curtain. If the opening is wide and steady, there's little noise. But if the space narrows and the fabric flaps around, you hear that familiar fluttering sound. In the throat, the fabric is your soft palate and nearby tissues. The sound can range from a gentle whistle to a deep rattling roar, depending on how much resistance the air meets. One major reason people snore is simple anatomy. Some individuals naturally have narrower airways. Enlarged tonsils, especially in children, can crowd the throat and create turbulence. A long or thick soft palate can hang lower into the airway. A deviated nasal septum, where the cartilage dividing the nostrils is off-center, can also make breathing through the nose more difficult, forcing more air through the mouth. When airflow shifts and tissues relax, the stage is set for snoring. Body position also plays a role. If you've ever noticed that someone snores louder on their back, there's a reason. Lying flat allows gravity to pull the tongue backward toward the throat. This further narrows the airway and increases vibration. Sleeping on the side often reduces snoring because it prevents that backward collapse. Weight can be another factor. Excess fatty tissue around the neck can compress the airway, making it more likely to narrow during sleep. Studies show that obesity significantly increases the risk of habitual snoring and sleep apnea. However, it's important to note that thin people can snore too. Snoring is influenced by multiple factors, not just body weight. Alcohol and certain medications can make snoring worse. Alcohol relaxes the muscles of the throat even more than normal sleep does. That extra relaxation can cause greater airway collapse and louder vibrations. Sedatives and some muscle relaxants can have a similar effect. That's why someone who rarely snores might suddenly sound much louder after a late-night drink. Nasal congestion is another common trigger. When you have a cold, allergies, or sinus inflammation, your nasal passages narrow. This forces you to breathe more through your mouth, increasing the chance of throat vibration. Even temporary swelling can turn a quiet sleeper into a noisy one. Now here's where things get more serious. While occasional snoring is common, affecting roughly 40% of adult men and about 20–30% of adult women, it can sometimes signal obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA. In OSA, the airway doesn't just narrow, it repeatedly collapses during sleep, briefly stopping breathing for at least 10 seconds at a time. These pauses can happen dozens or even hundreds of times a night. The brain senses the drop in oxygen and briefly wakes the person to reopen the airway, often with a loud snort or gasp. Many people with sleep apnea don't remember these awakenings, but their sleep becomes fragmented and unrefreshing. Untreated sleep apnea is linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and daytime fatigue. That's why persistent, loud snoring combined with choking sounds, morning headaches, or extreme daytime sleepiness should not be ignored. In those cases, snoring isn't just a harmless quirk, it's a warning sign. Children can snore too, and while mild snoring can be normal, frequent loud snoring in kids is often related to enlarged tonsils or adenoids. Pediatric sleep apnea can affect growth, behavior, and learning. That's why doctors may recommend evaluation if a child regularly snores loudly or has restless sleep. So why don't we snore all the time when we're awake? The answer lies in muscle tone and brain control. When you're conscious, the muscles in your airway actively maintain structure and openness. During sleep, especially during deeper stages and REM sleep, muscle tone decreases significantly. REM sleep, the stage associated with dreaming, causes even greater muscle relaxation. That's one reason snoring can be worse during certain parts of the night. And maybe that's what makes snoring so interesting. It sounds like a simple nighttime joke, but it's really your airway responding to relaxed muscles, gravity, and airflow. For some people, it's harmless. For others, it can be a sign that sleep isn't as healthy as it should be. Either way, that rumble in the dark is your body still hard at work, even while you rest. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.